My presentation is on whole body cryotherapy used in the physical therapy clinic and why it is beneficial to patients. Cryotherapy in general is helps with inflammation, edema, and pain. For the same reason, if an athlete or a patient is sore, you use a whole body cryotherapy. The only difference with this modality is that you are in a tank, submerged up to your neck for up to 3 minutes at negative 285 degrees Fahrenheit. Whole body cryotherapy is a beneficial modality for sports medicine related patients. So it helps for recovery time for sore patients, or if you're sore after practice. It is not, that being said, it is not approved by the FDA, so the health insurance does not pay for it. So it is expensive if you are just going in for one session. On average, it's anywhere between $50 to $65. I picked up this pamphlet, which I used as well. Cryotherapy is not just in a physical therapy clinic, but for example, here it's at an LA Tan, regardless. And they're charging, one session for $65, 5 sessions for $275, 10 sessions for $500. So it is not the cheapest modality that you can use when you have ice in the freezer. But what it does do, the benefit, which I'll talk about a little bit later, is you're submerged. Your whole body is getting the benefit, not just, for example, if you're putting ice on your knee and you're just icing your knee, or on your ankle, just your ankle. The whole body is getting its benefits. Whole body cryotherapy is not meant to treat any pathological conditions like fibromyalgia, multiple sclerosis, cancer, which if you go online and you look at the pros and cons, or the places that have cryotherapy, a lot of these places unfortunately do promote that they do heal that, which is not true. So what happens when you're in a cryotherapy tank? First of all, it triggers the release of endorphins, which induces the analgesic effect. And what it does is you're in a cold, extreme cold temperature tank. So what it does is all the blood from your upper extremities goes to your core. It protects the body. What the body is doing is it's protecting its vital organs for those 3 minutes. And then once you step out of the cryo tank, what it does is it relaxes. It does the complete opposite. The blood vessels, instead of vasoconstricting, then they vasodilate, and it rushes the blood throughout your limbs, and it feels amazing. So what it does, when it's going back throughout your limbs, it promotes nutrients and oxygen circulation throughout the body. In theory, at negative 285 degrees, cryotherapy triggers a survival response where the body will ultimately burn about 400 calories. Here in this pamphlet, it says that it'll promote anywhere between 500 and 800 calories. So the stats are never the same when you go to different locations, which is why, unfortunately, it is not covered by insurance, because there's not enough research to cover cryotherapy. But a lot of people do vouch that it does help them. I feel like it is more beneficial to athletes or anybody who just exercises, or you're sore. For example, fibromyalgia patients, because they are sore in multiple areas, not just on the knee or on the shoulder or on the wherever, your ankle. So in that sense, it is beneficial. An ice bath versus cryotherapy. So instead of being submerged in an ice tank for 50 to 59 degrees Fahrenheit, you're in there for about 10 to 15 minutes, which is not the greatest feeling, versus you being in a cryotherapy tank. You're there for up to 3 minutes, so it's a little bit faster. They both may be uncomfortable, but at least you're done in a quicker time. Pros and cons. Decreased perceived muscle soreness, speeds up recovery time. That is a pro. So it speeds up your recovery time for muscle soreness. Covers large amounts of inflammatory pathways. So, like I said before, somebody who is inflamed in multiple areas, it covers the whole body. So when you're in a tank, it goes up to your neck, and you're just in there with gloves and socks and your underwear, and your whole body is just reaping the benefits of cold therapy. So it's beneficial in that way. Improves parasympathetic response and improves alertness. When you are in this tank, you can't help but move, because if you can't stay still. It's a very, if I could describe it, it's a very uncomfortable, good feeling. But you have to move, or else you can't stay still. It's uncomfortable to stay still. A con, very expensive. On average, it's about $50 a session. This place says $65 for one session. It's inconvenient when you have ice in the freezer, and you want to just ice your ankle or your knee. It would not be beneficial or convenient for you to go and use cryotherapy, because it is expensive, and having to leave the house and everything that comes along with that. And the FDA, like I said, the FDA does not approve for its benefits due to lack of research. There hasn't been enough to prove all these things that they're promoting. So unfortunately, lack of research is a con as well. All right.